When dealing with such persons, you had better use everyday language. Please, no addresses. To describe spiritual principles. Talk about the things you know of God without coming off as somebody that, is going to shove something down their throat they may not want. There is no use in arousing prejudice he may have against certain theological terms. I have in my book, it says, no addresses, right? The last thing somebody wants to hear is, you got to get to James 1:17 and there's your, right? It's like, well, my head is spinning. Now, some people may say, please tell me. Others may not. You got to learn how to read the crowd, which may already be confused. Don't raise such issues, no matter what your own convictions are. There are a lot of people in this room with convictions. We just want to bring it to them. Your prospect may belong to a religious denomination. His religious education and training may be far superior to yours. That's happened to me dozens of times. These guys that know the Bible backwards and forwards, some of them have been locked up in cells for years doing nothing but reading it and they're throwing it at you, just going, whoa. But no context of how the relationship actually works. In this case, he is going to wonder how you can add anything to what he already knows. But he will be curious to learn why his own convictions have not worked and yours seem to work so well. He may be an example of the truth that faith alone is insufficient. To be vital, faith must be accompanied by self-sacrifice, unselfishness, and constructive action. And there's a little note over there I suggest you read at the break. Let him see that you are not there to instruct him on religion. Admit that he probably knows more about it than you do, but call to his attention the fact that however deep his faith and knowledge, he could not have applied it or he would not drink. Your answer and my answer are the same. I've learned how to apply it. Can I help you apply what you know? And the religious will soften. The agnostic may not want to hear it. The religious may need to soften. Just throw seed, keep talking, keep working with them, take them through steps. Perhaps our story will help him see where he has failed to practice the very precepts which he knows so well. We represent no particular faith or denomination. Now, look at this. We are dealing only with general principles common to all denomination. It's church stuff. Faith, sect, and denomination we defined when we first started reading the book. They're all about the Christian church. And they're saying these principles are common Christianity. It's the baseline. It don't matter if you're Catholic, Protestant, whatever denomination you may be. This is all good stuff. Outline the program of action, the steps that we take. Explaining how you made a self-appraisal, how you straightened out your past, and why you are now endeavoring to be helpful to him. It is important for him to realize that our attempts to pass this on to him is playing a vital role necessary to life in our own recovery. Actually, he may be helping you more than you may be helping him. That's why I read what Bill said about going out and helping men, even though nobody came for 6 long months. Make it plain that he is under no obligation to you, that you hope only that he will try to help other alcoholics when he escapes his own difficulties. Suggest how important it is that he place the welfare of others ahead of his own. This is the drunk, day number 1. First, second meeting, we're telling him that. Make it clear that he's not under any pressure, that he didn't see you again if he doesn't want to. You should not be offended if he wants to call it off, for he has helped you more than you've helped him. Yeah. If your talk has been sane, quiet, and full of human understanding, you have perhaps made a friend. Maybe you have disturbed him about the question of alcoholism. This is all to the good. The more hopeless he feels, the better. He will be more likely to follow the suggestions. Your candidate Many people are scared about the steps 4 and 5 because they say we made a searching and fearless moral inventory. This is impossible unless we are plugged in the power of God through prayer. In your own power, you cannot be fearless. But like everything in life, fear has an opposite. Faith And the action of faith is forgiveness. I'm reading from the right side. These things over there are important. I got to keep moving. Try to go back and read all of this later. That's why the A pages are there. I'm only hitting the top of the story here. Our candidate may give reasons why he need not follow all of the program. He may rebel at the thought of the drastic house cleaning, which requires discussion with other people. Do not contradict his views. Tell him you once felt, past tense, as he does, but you doubt whether you would have made much progress had you not taken action. On your first visit, tell him about the fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous. Tell him about the people in your life, the fellowship that's grown up among you. If he shows interest, lend him a copy of your book. Leave a copy of Alcoholics Anonymous with him. Pack some of those around. I don't know if you want to unload a fat book on every newcomer that walks in the door, but you can certainly give them a copy of Alcoholics Anonymous. And then if you work with them, you can show them what's in it. If they get interested in going deeper, you can take them deeper. It's every man's journey. Unless your friend wants to talk further about himself, do not wear out your welcome. Give him a chance to think it over. If you do stay, let him steer the conversation in any direction he likes. Sometimes a new man is anxious to proceed at once. Before you going through the entire plan, it's like, let's get started. You may be tempted to let him do so. This is sometimes a mistake. Let them know what they're in for. Make sure that they're clear. Don't start trying to solve problems one at a time. Take them through the process. That's what sponsorship is all about. When you're done, you got a new friend. If he has trouble later, he is likely to say you rushed him. You will be most successful with alcoholics if you do not exhibit any passion or crusade or reform. Never talk down to the alcoholic from any moral or spiritual hilltop. Simply lay out the kit of spiritual tools for his inspection. Show him how they worked with you. Offer him friendship and fellowship. Tell him that if he wants to get well, you will do anything to help him. We'll walk right through fire with him. They got to be willing to do it themselves, though. Can't drag them. If he is not interested in your solution, if he expects you to act as his banker, here it is, for his financial difficulties or a nurse for his sprees, you may have to drop him. We're talking about firing a newcomer until he changes his mind. This he may do after he gets hurt some more. If he's sincerely interested and wants to see you, ask him to read this book in the intervals. You meet with him, you read to him, you send him an assignment, you have him come back, you pick up where you left off, just like we've been doing after every break. He must decide for himself whether he wants to go on. He should not be pushed or prodded by you, his wife, his friends. If he is to find God, the desire must come from within. The whole program is about finding God. It's not about finding psychotherapy. Dr. Jung, who studied with Freud, one of the greatest psychiatrists of all time, turned to Roland Hazard, and he told him he'd never seen an alcoholic of his type recover. Go find a church. That genesis of Roland Hazard meeting the Oxford group, talking to Ebby talks to Bill, and grace avails. One man helping another on this journey that gets us here in this room. If he thinks he can do the job in some other way or prefers another spiritual approach, encourage him to follow his own conscience. We do not have a monopoly on God. We merely have an approach that worked with us. But point out that we alcoholics have much in common and that you would like, in any case, to be friendly. Let it go at that. They don't want what you have. You still can be friendly and helpful. You don't kick them out of your life, but you can't help them. You just run into them here and there. Do not be discouraged if a prospect does not respond at once. Search out another alcoholic and try again. You are sure to find someone desperate enough to accept with eagerness what you offer. So you keep chasing that guy that doesn't want to get well. You're missing the guy that wants to. Why? Why do we continue to chase him? Well, because it's hard to go find another one. I'll just keep chasing this one that doesn't want help. Makes me feel good that I chase him. And since I can't catch him, I don't have to really do much. Ouch. Here's what it says. We find it a waste of time to keep chasing a man who cannot or will not work with you. If you leave such a person alone, he may soon become convinced that he cannot recover by himself. To spend too much time on any one situation is to deny some other alcoholic an opportunity to live and be happy. Boy, Bill says that a lot nicer than I did, huh? One of our fellowship failed entirely with his first half a dozen prospects, talking about himself. This is the story from page 114 of As Bill Sees It. He often says that if he had continued to work on them, he might have deprived others who have since recovered of their chance. Who have since recovered of their, that's kind of a weird sentence. Suppose now that you are making your second visit. So first approach, tell them about the disease. Tell them what's going on with them. The next time you talk to them, we're going to get busy. He has read this volume and says he is prepared to go through with the 12 steps. Look at it, it made him read it like now. Read that whole thing, then come back. Now I'll tell you what happens with it, of recovery. Having had the experience yourself, you can give him much practical advice. Let him know that you are available if he wishes to make a decision. What does that mean? Does he want to become a follower? Does he want to decide? Does he want to give his will and his life over to the care of God? His will, his power of choice. I choose you and only you. His life every moment from then on. Is that the decision you're ready to make? Some want to make it softer than that. Oh, whatever your higher power is, let's just move on. Are you going to give the doorknob your will and your life? That thing will turn on you every time. And tell his story. But do not insist upon it if he prefers to consult someone else. It's okay. It's all right. He may be broke and homeless. If he is, you might try to help him about getting a job or give him a little financial assistance. But you should not deprive your family or your creditors of money they should have. Perhaps you want to take the man into your home for a few days, but be sure you use discretion. Be certain he will be welcomed by your family and that he is not trying to impose upon you for money, connections, or shelter. Permit that and you only harm him. Pat was telling a story this morning. That's why I'm giggling about a man that lived in his house for a little while. He brought home. You will be making it possible for him to be insincere. You may be adding to the destruction rather than his recovery. Never avoid these responsibilities, but be sure you are doing it for the right thing if you assume them. Helping others is the foundation stone of our recovery. It says over here, it's a little bit out of Luke. You may want to connect a line between that underlined sentence to that first bullet point on the other side and take a quick read if you got a minute. You have to act the Good Samaritan. You know the story of the Good Samaritan. It's right over there. Every day. If need be, the Good Samaritan, if you don't know, is in the book of Luke, so he's quoting the Bible again. It may mean the loss of many nights' sleep, great interference with your pleasures, interruptions of your business. It may mean sharing your money in your home, counseling frantic wives and relatives, and innumerable trips to police, courts, sanitariums, hospitals, jails, and asylums. Your phone may jingle at any time of day or night. Your wife may sometimes say she's neglected. A drunk may smash your furniture in your home or burn your mattress. You may have to fight with him if he is violent. Sometimes you will have to call a doctor, a sedative under his direction. Other times you may have to send the police or an ambulance. Occasionally you will have to meet these conditions. Not easy work. We seldom allow an alcoholic to live in our homes for a long time. It's not good for him, and it sometimes creates serious complications for the family. Though the alcoholic does not respond, there is no reason why you should neglect his family. There's a man I've been trying to work with for 10 years. His mother calls me all the time. I spend more time with his mother, than anything else, and he just will not take the bit. Back to jail, back to treatment, back to institutions, but you never leave the family behind. If you make contact with them, you continue to help them. You should continue to be friendly to them. The family should be offered this way of life. Should they accept and practice spiritual principles, there is much better chance that the head of the family will recover. There's Al-Anon now, right? And even though he continues to drink, the family will find life more bearable. For the type of alcoholic who is able and willing to be well, little charity, or in the ordinary sense of the word, is needed or wanted. If a man cries for money and shelter before conquering alcohol, he is on the wrong track. Yet we will do what. Hang on, Rick. Yet we will go to great extremes to provide each other with these very things when such actions are warranted. Remember, these guys are in the Depression back then too. This may mean inconsistent, but this may seem inconsistent, but we think it is not. It is not a matter of giving that is the question, but when and how. That often makes the difference between failure and success. The minute we put our work on a service plane, youch, the alcoholic commences to rely on our assistance rather than upon God. Boy, do they get a lot of assistance now. 1.2 billion goes a long ways. He clamors for this or that, claiming that he cannot master alcohol until his material needs are cared for. Nonsense. Some of us have taken a very hard knocks to learn the truth. Job or no job, wife or no wife. We simply do not stop drinking so long as our dependence is upon other people ahead of our dependence upon God. The sponsor does not save. We are people. We have a job to do. We can share. We can help. But we're not their new God. We're pointing them to the one who has all power. Burn the idea into the consciousness of every man that he can get well regardless of anyone. The only condition is that he trust in God and clean house. We trust that God is who he says he is. We clean house so that he can refill us. That's his process. It's his design. It's what he tells us we need to do. Now, the domestic problem. There may be a divorce, separation, or just strained relations. When your prospect has made such reparations as he can to his family, he has thoroughly explained to them the new principles by which he is living. He should proceed to the principles into action in his home. That is, if he is lucky enough to have a home. Though his family be at fault in many respects, he should not be concerned about it. He should concentrate on his own spiritual demonstration. Argument and fault finding are to be avoided like leprosy. Anger is our way back to the first drink. Avoid it. Teach him to avoid it. Show him to avoid it. Focus on the spiritual walk with God. In many homes, this is a difficult thing to do. But we must. It is of divine necessity be done if any result is to be expected. If persisted, in a few months, the effect on the man's family is sure to be great. The most incompatible people discover that they have a basis upon which they can meet, a common God. Little by little, the family sees their own defects. God does the same thing to everybody. And admit them. Then can be discussed in an atmosphere of helpfulness and friendliness. Oh my Lord, how would you like to be in that family? Come on. After they have seen tangible results, the family will perhaps want to go along. These things, after we've done the walk, these things will come to pass naturally and in good time be provided. However, the alcoholic continues to demonstrate that he can be sober, considerate, helpful, regardless of what anyone says or does. They're going to watch our feet. As we learn to pivot, as we learn to follow God, as we learn to seek God, our feet will naturally walk in the right direction and people will see it in you. They'll see by your walk what's really going on inside. If there is a divorce separation, there should be no undue haste for the couple to get together. The man should be sure of his recovery. The wife should be fully understand the new way of life. If their old relationship is to be resumed, it must be on a better basis, since the former did not work. This means the new attitude and spirit all around. Sometimes it is to the best interest of all concerned that the couple remain apart. Obviously, no rule can be laid down. Let the alcoholic continue his program day by day. When the time for living together has to come, it will be apparent to both parties. Let no alcoholic say he cannot recover unless he has his family back. We put no conditions in front of our relationship with God. And you hear it all the time. I got to have this, I got to do that. There's all these things, right? Just like when Jesus is talking to the man at the pool of Bathsheba. Do you want to be healed? Well, let me tell you all the reasons why I can't. Let me tell you how I can't get to the well. We do the same thing. I got to have my family back. I got. And they can't focus and they can't get off it. No conditions in front of our relationship with God. This just isn't so. In some cases, the wife will never come back for one reason or another. Remind the prospect that his recovery is not, I love this line, dependent upon his people. It is dependent upon his relationship with God. Bang. You're dependent upon your relationship with God, you will recover. All else will come after that. If you put anything before God, you're going to just struggle and suffer. We have seen men get well whose families have not returned at all. We have seen others slip when the family comes back too soon. Both you and the new man must walk day by day in the path of spiritual progress. If you persist, remarkable things will happen. When you look back, we will realize the things that will come to us when we put ourselves in God's hands. We're better than anything we could have planned. Follow, here it is, the dictates of a higher power. Now with a capital H and a capital P. I got 3 pages. Can I do it? Still on the clock. All right. And you will presently live in a new and wonderful world, no matter your present circumstances. When working with a new man, dictates, by the way, are rules and laws. When working with a new man and his family, you should take care not to participate in their quarrels. Ooh, hey, Tina. You may spoil your chance of being helpful if you do, but urge upon the man's family that he has been a very sick person and he should be treated accordingly. You should warn against arousing resentment, jealousy. You should point out that his defects of character are not going to disappear overnight. Hallelujah. Show them that he has entered upon a period of growth. Ask them to remember when they are impatient the blessed fact of his sobriety. These old timers used to work with their sponsees' families to help their families because that's where they're going back to. Don't just show up at my house for an hour and I'm going to send you back to that pit and not help you live in there. If they'll invite you in, go in. If you have been successful in solving your own domestic problems, tell the newcomer's family how that was accomplished. In this way, you can set them on the right track without becoming critical of them. The story on how your wife settled your difficulties is worth any amount of criticism. Assuming you are spiritually fit, living in 10, 11, 12, you can do all sorts of things that alcoholics are not supposed to do. People have said that we must not, here comes another rule, go to places where liquor was served. We must not have it in our homes. We must shun friends who drink. We must avoid movie pictures that show drinking scenes. We must not go into bars. Our friends must hide their bottles if we are to go to the houses. We mustn't think or be reminded about alcohol at all. Our experience shows that this is not necessarily true. Now watch what it says. If we meet these conditions every day, an alcoholic who cannot meet them still has the alcoholic mind. There is something wrong with his spiritual status. Ouch! I still have the strange mental blank spot. You got to hide the booze from me. His only chance of sobriety might be to place it on the Greenland ice cap. And even there, an Eskimo might turn up with a bottle of scotch and ruin everything. Bill's a funny guy. Ask any woman who has sent her husband to a distant place on the theory that he would escape his alcoholic problem. Where we go, we are. In our belief, any scheme of combating alcoholism which proposes to shield the sick man from what? Temptation is doomed to fail. If the alcoholic tries to shield himself, he may succeed for a time, but he usually winds up in a bigger explosion than ever. We have tried these methods. Those attempts to do the impossible have failed. So, our rule is, here's another rule, not to avoid places where they are drinking if we have a legitimate reason for being there. That includes bars, nightclubs, dances, receptions, weddings, even plain ordinary whoopee parties. Free men go anywhere. Do these things and become free. To a person who has had our experience with alcoholics, this may seem like tempting providence with a capital P. We're talking about God, but it isn't. You will note that we have made an important qualification. Therefore, ask yourself on each occasion, have I a good social or business or personal reason to go to this place? Or am I expecting to steal a little vicarious pleasure from the atmosphere of such places? Ow, what's my motive? If the answer to these questions, if you answer these questions satisfactorily, you need have no apprehension. Go or stay away, whichever seems best. That's how free men think. But be sure you are on a solid spiritual ground before you start, and that your motive is going to be thoroughly good. Do not think of what you can get from the occasion. Think of what you can bring. But if you are shaky, you had better work with another alcoholic instead. Isn't that beautiful? Why sit around with a long face in places where there's drinking? Gosh, you ever do that? Yeah. When you're on a dry spell, sighing about the good old days. If it was a happy occasion, try to increase the pleasure of those there. If it is a business occasion, go and attend to your business enthusiastically. If you are with a person who wants to eat in a bar, by all means, go along. Let your friends know they are not to change their habits on your account. At a proper time and place, explain to your friends why alcohol disagrees with you. Tell them what's wrong with you. It's all right. If you do this thoroughly, few people will ask you to drink. While you were drinking, you were withdrawing from life little by little. Now that you're getting back to social life and into the world, don't start to withdraw again just because your friends drink liquor. First thing I used to tell people was, you want to drink, Rick? No, maybe later. I didn't even confront it. And after a while, people I always thought they wanted to know why I wasn't drinking. Nobody cared. None of my friends today drink. It's the weirdest thing ever. I haven't seen a drunk person I don't know how long, but they all have cocktails. It's an interesting thing, the world that we live in. Your job now is to be at a place where you may be of maximum helpfulness to others. So never hesitate to go anywhere where you can be helpful. You should not hesitate to visit the most sordid places on earth on such an errand. Isn't that great? Keep on the firing lines of life with those motives, and God will keep you unharmed. How's that for faith? Many of us keep liquor in our homes. I do. We often need it to carry a green recruit through a severe hangover. Some of us still serve it to our friends. I do, provided they are not alcoholic. That's true. But some of us think we should not serve liquor to anyone. We never argue on these questions. We feel that each family, in light of their own circumstances, ought to decide for themselves. We are also careful never to show intolerance or hatred towards drinking as an institution. Experience shows us that such an attitude is not helpful to anyone. That's anger. You're going to get a resentment over alcohol? Everyone knew. Thank you. I'm getting delirious. Every new alcoholic looks for the Spirit among us and is immensely relieved when he finds we are not witch burners. A spirit of intolerance might repel alcoholics whose lives could have been saved, rescued, liberated, freed by what's in this book, had it not been for such stupidity. Ooh. We would not even do the cause of temperate drinking any good. That's to not drink. For not one drinker in 1,000 likes to be told anything about alcohol by one who hates it. Someday, we hope Alcoholics Anonymous will help the public to better understand and realize the gravity of the alcoholic problem. But we shall be of little use if our attitude is one of bitterness and hostility. Drinkers won't stand for it. After all, our problems were of our own making. Bottles were only a symbol. Besides, we have ceased fighting everything and everyone. We have to. Boom!